Right now on the PIX11 Morning News, travel trouble in the tri-state. An emergency landing at Newark Airport forcing passengers to evacuate down slides, and now flight delays this morning. Plus the meager amount passengers say they were offered in exchange for their troubles.
After weeks of snow and sludge and other things, alternate site parking is back. That means the time to dig out is over, and city enforcement is back on.
Plus, say it ain't so, are New Yorkers losing their signature accent?
You talking to me?
A new survey suggests the iconic city sound may be fading, and wait till you hear why. The PIX11 Morning News at 6 a.m. starts right now.
Live from PIX Plaza on 42nd Street, it's the PIX11 Morning News.
6:01 and good morning on this Thursday, February 19th. I'm Vanessa Freeman.
And I'm Dan Manarino. Great to be here with you. You talking to me?
You talking to me?
All right.
Forget about it.
Forget about it.
That's my fake New York accent.
I was told the other day that I was talking and someone said, you have a real accent.
You do.
New York accent. I never thought of that. Anyway, happy to be here at 6 a.m. Good to see you all. What's happening?
Well, we have a lot going on. Of course, you can see behind me, there is a weather statement from the National Weather Service. These are particular areas that we have to be concerned because when you step outside, there could be some black ice to have to contend with. Remember, we did have some rain that came through the area. Some areas got a little bit of a little mixing, little light snow in addition, but that was well inland. Either way, temperatures are at or below freezing, eastern Suffolk, north and west of the city, so you may have some black ice. Air quality alert. So if you're within the sensitive groups, you definitely want to be careful. It'll be quite difficult to breathe if you spend a lot of time outdoors. The air's been like just stagnant, hanging around. AQI is above 100. Right now, temperature-wise, we are in the 30s. 36 Soho, 37 Sheepshead Bay. This is the kind of weather where you need that heavier winter coat. And along with that, the winter accessories and comfortable boots, too, because you could be slipping. Here's a look at your day planner. As you can see, temperatures are in the upper 30s, low 40s throughout the day. We remain mainly dry, plenty of clouds, but to our south, there could be a few showers later on, particularly in New Jersey. Greater chance we're going to try out this next system for tomorrow that can yield snow and rain and even some ice, as well as a coastal storm for the weekend. We got a lot going on. We'll send it over to Alexa Farrell with traffic.
All right, Stacey Ann, thank you. Taking a look at the Helix here at the Lincoln Tunnel. Traffic is still light at this hour. Things flowing just fine. Lincoln Tunnel sitting at about 5 to 10 minutes. George Washington Bridge is a bit slower, 10 to 15 over there, and the Holland Tunnel is 5 to 10. Quick check over here, over by the Holland Tunnel. We have a crash. It is on the westbound side, though, right by Route 508, your Newark, your Turnpike westbound. So again, that's right near the Holland Tunnel. And let's go out and get a live look right now at the Holland Tunnel, see how things are shaping up over there in real time. So traffic does seem pretty light over here as well. People definitely getting on, but nothing that's too backed up at this point. So that's some good news. It's 6:03 on this Thursday morning, and we're getting this workday started. All right, Vanessa, Dan, back over to you.
PIX11 traffic report presented by Citizens. Make sense of your money with Citizens.
We continue to follow some major breaking news out of the UK. Former Prince Andrew has been arrested.
Yeah, he was arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office. He's been tied to the Jeffrey Epstein scandal for years. The arrest reportedly happened at a royal estate in Norfolk, which is northeast of London. Now, local police have been assessing reports that Andrew sent trade reports to Epstein back in 2010.
His connections to Epstein led to him being stripped of his royal title and duties. He now goes by Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. He is King Charles' brother. The BBC's royal correspondent is calling the arrest unprecedented. We'll, of course, continue gathering details and bring you updates throughout the morning.
All right, in the meantime, back here at home, 6:04 and developing at this hour, Newark Airport experiencing flight delays after a plane was forced to make an emergency landing.
PIX11's Giovanni Diaz is at Newark Airport with the very latest.
The flight delays this morning come after a ground stop that was in effect until around 7 p.m. yesterday, and we actually spoke with passengers who were on that plane. They told us they were scared. This morning, the FAA is investigating a mid-air scare at Newark International Airport. The video shows passengers on the tarmac moments after they were forced to evacuate a JetBlue airplane. The pilot warning travelers about what was going on.
Yeah, we're going to exit the runway and just have the fire
Rescue, make sure the engine, number one engine's okay.
Kilo 543, Roger, exits on POP is 3, and just hold short of Kilo.
Flight 543, an Airbus A320, was headed to West Palm in Florida. It had just taken off from Newark around 5:45 p.m., but had to come back about 20 minutes later. One passenger who did not want to be identified said he could smell the smoke right away.
And then people started to panic, and I was honestly like half asleep watching a movie, so I wasn't fully aware of it. But then the airplane started to get a little bit, but wobbly, I would say. It wasn't too bad where I thought we were going down, but there was certainly a panic once the smell started. And then they got on the intercom after about, I don't think we were off the ground for more than 20 minutes before saying we were going to have to turn around, make an emergency landing, and land in Newark.
And JetBlue actually confirms that incident, saying that the flight had an engine issue and also smoke in the cabin. Thankfully, everyone got off the plane safely, and as of this morning, about 20 flights were behind schedule. Reporting from New York International Airport, I'm Giovanni Diaz, PIX11 News.
6:06 right now and happening today. The next phase of major snow cleanup, begins in New York City. Alternate side parking back in effect. Haven't heard that in a while, allowing sanitation crews to dig out piles of snow that have been lining streets since last month's storm.
Just move your car, because if we've got to go around your car, it's not just your car's length. We lose all that in and out space. And really all you're doing is subjecting your neighborhood to a dirty street.
The city is enlisting a fleet of pickup trucks to handle plowing in tighter spaces. Officials note that staying in your car and waiting to move it once a sweeper gets close is still not in compliance with the law and can result in a ticket. I see y'all doing that. PIX11's Justin Finch live with more information that you need to know coming up at 6:30. The winter season can bring all kinds of messes, right? Including ones that kind of bubble up underground. And this year's prolonged cold causing more than a mess. A manhole fire left 2 people hurt and forced hundreds of residents out of their homes. Our Greg Mocker has more from Williamsburg, Brooklyn.
A fire in the street in the snow. It's an alarming sight. It can happen when the elements mix during the winter. For a few hours Wednesday morning along Humboldt Street in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, firefighters and utility crews worked to get a fire under control and figure out what was happening.
I saw the fire, how high it was, and then they towed the car, they removed the car after they put the fire out.
Marisol came by to check on her mom. Once the fire was out, National Grid took over and is working to replace a gas pipe. They have to dig up the street. The emergency started before dawn.
My father, he was in his shorts, everything, and he had to leave real quick. At first, they told him to open up the windows. So the first floor and second floor had carbon monoxide levels that were too high. So that's when at about 3:30, they had to evacuate everybody from the building.
Ruben Burgos rushed over earlier to be with his dad. The city and MTA have sent a warming bus, parked it on the sidewalk in between some of the buildings that don't have gas.
Everybody's back in the building. He a little shaken up. I was worried because I know that any main line goes into these buildings and it could blow up any time.
It's a busy time for weather-related issues impacting utilities. Winter conditions create another hazard as pipes expand and contract in the cold, and melting snow mixes with salt that's been spread on roads and sidewalks. The Department of Sanitation says its mix of salt and calcium chloride is the most effective way to keep streets safe during winter events. The city and utilities are discussing other ways and methods. Neighbors on Humboldt are glad the electricity's back on. They're waiting and watching the other utility work.
We don't have gas now. There's no gas. I had to go and buy something for my mother to eat.
New gas pipes are going in here. Ultimately, upgraded infrastructure will help. Con Ed has been installing salt-resistant wiring. There are more than 96,000 miles of underground wires in the 5 boroughs and Westchester County. In Williamsburg, Greg Mocker, PIX11 News.
Well, Mayor Mamdani taking a page out of Robin Hood and is now backing down on his threat to raise property taxes in New York City.
And that's if the state does not begin taxing millionaires and businesses in order to close that $5.4 billion budget gap. So yesterday, the mayor even acknowledged the 9.5% tax hike could jeopardize another key campaign promise, a freeze on rent for rent-stabilized tenants. So if property taxes go up, landlords' costs go up. The mayor says it is a last resort for now.
What we put forward was what we characterized as actions of last resort. What we will spend every day looking towards is working with Albany to increase taxes on the wealthiest and the most profitable corporations such that a fiscal crisis is not resolved on the backs of working and middle-class New Yorkers.
Meanwhile, Mamdani's plan to freeze rent appears to be moving forward. He's now officially appointed the majority of the Rent Guidelines Board.
Okay. And President Trump getting together what he's calling a board of peace today in Washington. So what's the goal here? He says it's rebuilding Gaza.
We head live to Washington next for more on what the president actually wants to do. Plus, a major step forward in the fight to fund the Gateway Tunnel project. The Trump administration releasing the remaining cash, clearing the way for construction to restart as soon as next week. However, the legal battle may not be over.
And bad news for trans kids being treated at NYU Langone. The hospital abruptly and permanently ending the program. What it means for families and patients that are receiving care.
And meteorologist Stacey Ann Gooden with our Thursday commuter forecast.
All right, guys, thank you so much. If you're heading out right now, give yourself some extra time. We have some fog to have to contend with. Take a look at our graphic here so you can see visibility down to less than 2 miles in Farmingdale. Elsewhere, it's a little bit better, but further inland, New Jersey, for instance, we're down to about 6 or even 7. Also, keep in mind that when you step outside, we're dealing with some black ice. Of course, it's not really black, it's transparent. It's so thin, sometimes it's hard to detect, so give yourself some extra time. Look to the left of your screen. This is PIX Plaza. Folks are moving through there just fine, but you definitely want to wear some comfortable shoes because it can be a little slippery outside. Of course, coming up, we'll have a closer look at all that you need to know. We got some snow in the forecast, we got some rain, and we're also tracking a coastal storm for the weekend, so stick around. We'll have the extended after the break.